Hey guys, I'm back. It's park season and we're doing body armor 2.0. Terrible to put on. I mean, it fits great, fits good, and it would just flop like that, but I don't know why You might have to excuse some extra noises. I've got a fan going, I've got my garage door open, got this other door open, and there's a pair of hawks out here that are either fighting or they're getting it on because they're making a lot of noise, and you're probably going to hear it come through the microphone.
Yeah, they'll probably be gone in a couple of weeks.
But in order to keep the shirt semi-dry, I got to keep all this going, so bear with me. As you might recall, this was actually it was 2 years ago, this was my upper torso or upper body protection garment of choice. Now, my choice of shorts was from Leatt, the 5.0, I don't know, 3DFs 5.0, 6 or 9 or something shorts. And I went out online and I looked for some updates, and I really didn't find anything. So I'm still going with the same shorts. However, on the upper body portion, there are several new options out there, and I'm going to show you 4 of them. And you might ask, if I was so happy with this, why did I get another one? Well, this is a pain in the ass to put on. It's more of a pain in the ass to take off. And I'll show you what I mean. And I don't really remember exactly how to do it. There's a technique, and you can't have a watch on and do it. It's impossible. I think you go in with the arms first. I think you go in there, like this one. And then you do like the football tap. And everybody's seen me put this on before. Well, everybody that's watched the last video talking about body armor has seen me put this on. So it's not terrible to put on. Now, taking it off right now is going to be difficult. If I were hot and sweaty, and I should say, I don't wear anything under this because this is warm enough. I don't wear anything underneath it. It goes directly against your skin. It's totally comfortable. I've never had any issues with it or feeling uncomfortable while wearing it all day at a park. Totally fine. But you're going to be sweaty underneath. This thing's going to be wet when you're taking it off. And taking it off is difficult. I'm trying to think of the technique I worked out. I think, because there's this hole right here, I think I worked out that you take your arm out of the, yes, that worked. And I don't know if anybody's got this, if you're watching, if you figured this out yet. This will probably help you. It's definitely not as easy as this when you're sweaty. So that's that part. Now getting this off. Now when this is the part when you're sweaty, I'm a little claustrophobic, and I sometimes freak out a little bit when I'm getting this off, but all right, it's gonna come easy now because I'm wearing this shirt and it's not sticking to me at all. But that's how this one goes on and comes off, and trust me, you don't want me to go run around and get sweaty and try to do it and without a shirt on. You'd have to turn down the brightness on your monitor. It's really luminescent under here, especially with all these lights on, so I'll save you from that. But let me go get to the other ones and show you what we got. I will also tell you, when you buy the Leatt product for the upper body torso, it comes in this big bag, and it's pretty burly. It's got a big plastic handle on it, snaps together, and it's actually, I think it's going to be pretty handy with, like, if you're driving to a park and if you're not flying, then you can put like all your DH gear in here, like your pants, your pads, your helmet. You put all of that in here, snap it up, stays closed, throw it in the bed of the truck, throw it in the cab of the truck, throw it in the back of the SUV, whatever. I do think that's pretty nice, and none of the other ones came with anything like this. They just came in a regular plastic bag like this. Let's start with this one. This is from 616. You'll remember that I tried some 616 products last time. This is a new offering from them that was not available at the time. This is called their Recon Advance. It's got chest pads, rib pads. Doesn't have anything on the inside here. It actually does have like a pocket. I don't know if you can, like if your pants or your riding shorts or pants don't have pocket, you can put your lift ticket in here. That's pretty nice. It's got shoulder pads. It's got elbow pads. Got a little elastic piece to make sure that the elbow pad fits snug around the wrist. It's got these little pads here that cover up right here, which I like a lot. And it's got a big back protector. This collar material, I'm going in depth in this stuff, so this might be a longer video. This collar material is very soft, very comfortable. This zipper has a nice cover, keeps all of the zipper material off of your body, which is really nice. And up at the top, this is like this micro fleece zipper cover where the handle of the zipper is going to stay right up here in your neck. This is a micro fleece piece, and it's really comfortable. This thing, I don't have any issues wearing it against the skin, and all of these I've worn against the skin, and they're all very comfortable. This has nice little hooks to hang it from. Let's put it on. Obviously, this one has zippers, and spoiler alert, all of the new ones have zippers, which makes putting them on and taking them off much easier. you don't do like a jacket. You don't like just slide your arms through. You really got to pull. You got to pull everything up on your elbows before you go to the next arm. Pro tip. Otherwise, you start pulling on seams. Don't ask me how I know. All right, it's snug for sure, but not snug to the point where it's bothersome at all. Even though it's snug, it's still got a lot more stretch than what I'll need. I'm not going to expand that much. Fits good. Oh, it's got a tailbone protector too right here. Little pad down here right on your tailbone. That's nice. I think one of the things, this thing, it's got mesh, like open mesh down here, and then this is like Lycra, so it's all going to be wicking material. It's got mesh around the pads, and the pads do have holes in them, so to try to let everything breathe a little bit more. These are impact rated pads. It says all of them are. I don't think these are going to protect my ribs from getting broken. But if I happen to slide across the ground here, these are definitely going to protect against rocks scraping me and stuff like that. This is a more substantial pad than down here, and it does have slits in it, if you can see, to make it breathe a little better. And just like 661's other stuff, they have, like if you were wearing their shorts liner or whatever else they might offer, they have these little hooks that will hook into everything to make sure everything stays put. That's a nice little touch if you go with their whole system. And I haven't tried their shorts, and I wanted to. They weren't in stock, so they might be a good option. I'll recommend you look at them. I think they look pretty good. But that's it for this one. Goes on easy, comes off easy. I would personally like a little more padding. It's one of the things I love. It's one of the things I love about this one is that these elbow pads, they have, this is the elbow right here. So if this were on here, it stops about right here. This one has another 3 inches of like sturdy protection coming all the way down the forearm here, which I really like about these, because if you remember in that last video, I based what I got on how I crash. And when I crash, my forearms and elbows take the brunt. All of this stuff gets the rest of the scratches, and then hips and yada yada. But as far as upper body goes, one of the first things that hits from my skateboard background is my hand, and I go immediately from the hand onto the elbow, and so everything through here is exposed and gets hit. So I do like this substantial amount of protection on my forearm. I do like this. And one of the things I missed that I may have glossed over is, why am I getting something different? Well, oh no, I didn't. I talked about it. I gave you the reasons. That's pain in the ass to put on, pain in the ass to take off. It is, for sure. But I'm becoming, 1, more skilled, 2, more mentally fit to ride mountain bikes. And I'm making better decisions about how I do things. I'm being more in tune with my body, so I'm more likely to quit while I'm ahead. I'm more likely to quit when I'm fatigued. I'm more likely to pass on something if I look at it for too long. So I'm making better decisions, and not that I want to ride around with less protection, but I wouldn't mind riding around with some lighter protection that maybe breathed a little better and was easier to put on and take off. So like when we take a break, I can take my jersey off, pull this off real quick, put my jersey back on, it's no problem. Doing it with the TLD garment that I gotta like wiggle myself out of, I got a lot of looks when I was sitting at a restaurant at lunch last time I was at Park, and I took that thing off at the table, and especially because I was squealing about being claustrophobic getting it off. But there you go. 661 Recon Advance. I like it. Now, if you remember last video, you remember this 661 Evo compression jacket. The only difference between this one and the last one I got is that this one is long sleeve. I think if you remember last video, I said I'm pretty sure I would be really happy with this long sleeve garment also. So I figured I'd get it to try it on. Like the 661 range, it's got all of the same creature comforts around the collar. It's got a protector under the zipper. It's got a little micro fleece. That's the same material, but it's still nice and soft, springy. It's mesh. It's got chest pads. This one does have, if you recall, some hip pads for right around here. It's got your shoulder, it's got your elbow, it's got the back. And that's it. It does have a pocket in the back, 2 of them. I don't know what you put there, maybe lift ticket, maybe a goo or a gel or something like that. I'm not really sure. This one has a Velcro adjustment here, which I quickly found out is too tight for my forearms. I can't get the Velcro to close on itself without it feeling pretty tight on my forearm. So, spoiler alert, I'm not going to go with this one. There are some other issues with this one that I'm not crazy about. I wonder if this will be cooler because these pads have bigger holes in them than the range does. I mean, it fits great if you have slightly smaller forearms, or just don't even care about this. You just cut it off right here if you wanted to. That's another thing. Like when you guys get these garments, like don't be scared to modify them to fit you perfectly. I mean, you bought it for you. It's not, they're manufacturing it for everybody that identifies as a size large. If you don't want this and everything else is perfect, by all means, just take this thing off and just cut it right here. Just get a pair of scissors and cut it. Stay away from the seaming part. Just leave a little tab sticking out there. Everything's fine. But I don't know that these pads, these chest pads, they're not going to like save you from breaking ribs and stuff. They're just going to protect you from scrapes if you fall on your chest. And neither the Range nor the Evo have any protection right here in the sternum area. And it seems like the upper body protection garments or chest protectors really protect. There's a lot of them that protect right here, and that's what their main focus is protecting right here and the spine, which are good things to protect. But I'm not doing 100-foot jumps, not getting super crazy, and I don't know that I want to sacrifice all the other padding in the areas that are a higher probability of getting damaged to protect this area that has a lower probability of getting damaged, even though protecting this area might be more important. It's all about risk versus reward, managing that risk in your own way. Then you got my air conditioner compressor kicking on, making more noise, but it is heating up in the garage, and the temperature says it's 85 now. And the only wind I have going is from that little fan that I have to put really far away so that it doesn't overpower. Stupid birds making so much noise. It doesn't overpower the microphone. Anyway, this next piece is from IXS. If I'm comparing these to the 661, it doesn't have any extra material around the collar to make it softer. When I wear this, when I wore it without a shirt, it doesn't need it. It's very soft, very comfortable. It does have a lot of material covering up the zipper, and it's got a little cover here right for the top of the zipper that goes around your neck, so you're protected from the inside of the zipper and the zipper handle just as much as anything else. It's pretty minimal. It's got a shoulder pad, it's got elbow pad, a chest pad. I'm laughing because it's really a joke, and these rib pads, it's just really the joke. They're like 3/16 of an inch, and they've got holes in them, so they're not protecting you from anything, really. And then it's got a back protector. These rib pads, the chest pads, do come and they go all the way back around to your ribs, but like I said, they're not protecting you from anything other than a scrape. And I'm okay with that. There's nothing really wrong with that. I don't know. It seems like you could have just made it a little bit thicker without causing any extra weight or much extra weight or much loss of cooling, and giving you a little bit more protection. And I guess the reason I'm really laughing about it is because this back, I keep almost dropping this thing. This back protector is so heavy and so thick. It is so out of balance with the rest of the padding on this garment. It's like Sherman tank on the back spine protector, and then like paper airplane on everything else. Like, these pads are a joke. But it is very comfortable, and if what you're worried about the most is your spine, your elbows, and your shoulders, and you don't really want anything else, then this is an option for you. Spring has definitely sprung in Florida. This is the IXS X-Back. You know, I guess the name should have led me to like some guess as to what their focus was. They're definitely protecting your back on this thing. The back protection on it is substantial. And it's that type of material that as you hit it, it definitely hardens. It's really comfortable. It's kind of got some compression to it, just like most of the other ones. And these pads are really in the right spot. They feel like that's where you want them. If they were just a little bit bigger, it'd be a little bit more substantial, but you know, maybe that does cut down the cooling too much. That's a decision for you to make. There's definitely, if your main goal is back protection, this one is probably for you. All right, this is the Airflex Stealth. Not unlike everything else, it's mesh, it's got pads, elbow, shoulders, back, chest. One of the big differences is that you might be able to see that this is much more mesh-like everywhere than the other products that we were looking at. Some of them have different types of microfiber in different spots, whereas this is that mesh material almost everywhere. I'm assuming this one is going to be pretty cool to wear, cooler, temperature cool. One of the things that's different, there are a few things that are different about the Leatt one, but one is that it zips like from the side up like this, and it's not like it's a deal breaker or anything, but it does make it a little bit more difficult to get on, get started at least. I guess because it's constantly pulling, and there's not a whole lot of material to grab onto because it's all mesh down at the bottom, and it kind of makes it difficult to get the zipper going from the bottom, because they're like, you know, they're so spread apart and they're not like next to each other. And I'm not faking this. And this is the second time I put this thing on, and I'm having the same issue. I was thinking that, oh, maybe it was just, you know, trying it for the first time. There we go. Of course, once you get the zipper going, everything's fine. And it does have the protection layer underneath it to protect the zipper from your skin. Same thing right here on the neck. It fits a little, maybe when you pull it down, maybe I don't have it adjusted right. In any case, I got it on. The shoulder pads, they're not the largest of the group. They kind of cut in here and they cut in here, and I don't know why they're like, I don't know why they don't come down more around here. I'm sure they have the reasons for it. The elbow pads are pretty thin, but they're that impact rated, and you can kind of see, if I do this, you can see they're trying to pull away from my elbow, so they're not really molded well to your elbow. I think they're actually flat pieces of that impact material, and the only reason it even looks like it's in a cup when this garment's hanging is because it's sewn into the fabric that is shaped like that. But I do like how the elbow pads go down a little further than some of the other ones. I do like that it's made out of all mesh material. The chest protector is more substantial on this product than any of the other 3 new ones that I've tried. Now, the TLD garment has pads, thick pads all over the chest, so it's substantial as well. And there's nothing here on the ribs, nothing down in the front, nothing on the hips. And then the back protector just starts at the top base of your crack and goes up. And that's it. There's nothing back here, nothing down here. But it's a pretty light material, and I would bet that under a jersey you might be hard pressed to even see that somebody's armored up. Now, if that's important to you, then this is probably a good option. I know I just wiped my forehead sweat and then put it back here on the garment. If I send this back, I hope you don't get it, I'm sorry. But if you wear this, you almost certainly can see it under anybody's jersey that's wearing it. So I've got the one that I feel like is super protective, and I too, I don't look looking like I've got like an exoskeleton on under my jersey. So the fact that something would be a little more stealthy, not to steal Leatt's name for this garment, but something a little more stealthy would be desirable. But you know, it's probably not on the high side of my desirability list. But this is good, and in a second, let's go back through some of them and look at a few of them in a little more detail. I'll show you a couple more features on the other ones here in a minute. So one of the problems with this is it possibly interferes with a neck guard, whereas Leatt actually has connectors here that actually strap their neck guard on. It's basically meant to be modular with some more of their protection gear. One of the other things is when you wash these things, you know, there's pads. It's not necessary to put in the washing machine because they are impervious to moisture. And so Leatt has one here. You can see this thing probably not really absorbing any moisture, but it's got Velcro on it. On the inside, there's another back protector. Must be Velcro. Yeah, there's a Velcro strap in there. This is the middle to low back portion of the protection that you can just pull out of here. Yep, they do come out. So you can get the shoulder pads and the elbow pads out. You can get almost every pad out of this one for washing and whatnot. This is a good garment, I like it. Now we're going back to the 661 Recon Advance. So if you haven't figured out, this one and the Leatt Airflex Stealth are my two favorites out of the 4 new ones that we're trying out. This one here, you can remove the shoulder pads. It looks like, yep, you can remove the shoulder pads. I'm guessing you can probably remove the elbow. Yep, you can remove the elbow pad. You cannot remove the chest or rib pad or lat pad, that one there. You can remove the back pad, and when I did that, I was surprised to find like another little self-contained pad holder. When you take this out, you find that this back pad's a little bit different than all the other ones. If you've ever seen those Smith helmets and they've got that green material, that green like corrugated honeycomb looking material, well, that's what this back pad's made out of. I don't know if, let me see it. You can kind of tell what that is, but there's 2 pieces of it right here. I'm gonna get here. So there's 2 pieces of it, a smaller piece and a bigger piece to make it kind of like curve over. But this is hard material. That was one of my gripes about this thing is in the looks department, is that the back protector looked a little bit thick for the rest of the garment. So what I'm thinking about doing, if I keep this one, I'll probably take this smaller one out and just leave the one layer of the big one in there and go with that. And while this is corrugated and it's got holes in it, it does have this material here, and I don't think it's going to breathe very well. I don't think that the range would interfere with a neck brace. I don't know exactly which one I'm going to keep right this moment, and I'm going to make this decision very soon, but it's either going to be this 661 Range Advance or the Leatt Airflex Stealth. One of these two. I will make a decision very quickly here. All right, it's literally been 5 days since I recorded the last section of that video. I'm still undecided. So I decided to weigh all the products, see what they weigh, see which the heaviest ones are, the light ones are. I got a feeling they're not gonna be crazy different in weight, even though they feel different in weight. And then we're gonna take a slightly closer look at some of them. We're gonna try to weed some things out. I'm gonna try to make a decision right now. And here's just so you know that I've got the box accounted for. Boom, 0. Now we'll check out the Leatt Airflex Stealth. Let's see, 2 pounds, 2.6 ounces. Not bad. This is the 661, was it Range Advance? I think it is. 2 pounds, 3.7 ounces. Not bad. And this is the one, if I decide to keep, I would be taking 1 layer of the back protection out. So it would be a little bit lighter than that if I kept it. Here is the 661 Evo, which should be a little bit heavier. 2 pounds, 5.2 ounces. This is the IXS version, or the IXS product, and that's at 2 pounds, 5 ounces. Now let's compare that to what I'm considering my gold standard. 1 pound, 10 ounces. It's pretty light. With this IXS product, you know, the thing I didn't like it the most was the back pad was really heavy, but as we just saw, the back pad it's still less than half the weight. And the thing is the shoulder pads and the elbow pads are made of the same material as the back pad, so that's more than likely where almost all the weight comes from. That's not a bad thing because the pads themselves are really good. I think they're shaped well. In fact, they may feel better than some of the other offerings. But let's look at the inside of this thing. Let's look at the bottom hem here, just in construction. You know, we got this material's pretty thin. You can see it's just folded over on itself. It does have a nice, I don't know what this stitch would be called, but it seems pretty robust, along with these stitches here, along with this that goes to hold the back pad in, all of the major seams and whatnot. But when you get to these pads that are sewn into the inside of the garment, when you look at them, they're just another layer of material with a single stitch. And this is what's going to sit up against your body or another piece of clothing or something like that. And I feel like that's probably not the most robust way to hold those in. I would call that a mark against this product. Oh, in contrast, this 661 Evo product, I think 661 makes one of the nicest products in this category. And maybe some of the nicest protection products out there as far as construction and durability and design and everything. I went through this whole garment. I can't find anything that is single stitch. You know, this is just a pocket on the outside. And look at the seaming here. These big, thick. And here's a hip pad that's sewn in, and you can see those seams are really robust too. So, you know, everything about this seems like it was thoughtfully designed. So I can't take anything away from this garment in terms of construction, and I doubt I'm going to be able to take anything away from that 661 product in terms of construction either. But let's take a look. All right, as expected, can't find anything wrong with the 661. What is this one called again? The Recon Advance. So can't find anything wrong with that. If anything, the stitches are exactly the same or burlier. The Evo product is slightly older than the Recon product, so maybe they've even updated their stitching process because this seems to be even more burly. So I can't find anything wrong construction-wise with either of the 661 products, which is no surprise to me. All right, next up is the Leatt Airflex Stealth, and I just went and looked over this and couldn't find really anything wrong with this one. It's got beefy, burly stitches in all the spots and all the stress spots wherever their pads sewn together. Everything's nice and beefy. Like, that's not going to help me make any decisions. Man, I thought looking through this would help me make some decisions, but all right, this is a weird angle, I get it, but I just thought of something else that might help me make a decision, and that is how breathable they might be. To illustrate how breathable they might be compared to one another, I am going to point the camera at this window and hold them up in front of the camera so you can see how much light comes through them. More light, more air. That's at least what I'm thinking. First, we're going with the Leatt Airflex Stealth. And so that particular portion right there is the chest with the little bit of holes. Underneath it, that's the mesh. So that would be like your stomach, essentially. That would be your chest. Shoulders, sides. Let's get that sleeve out of the way. Yeah, so that's your side. And here is the back. So this is the upper back that actually has that piece that you can take off. And then this is the lower portion of the back protector. And the extreme lower portion of it. So pretty breathable, it looks like. This is the 661 Recon. So this is the chest. So you can kind of see through that. This here is the side. Get this, I can do it. That there is the lower part of your side. That little triangle there, that's like the back side of your shoulder. This is like the back of your neck, the top of your back. That is the middle of your back, which I don't see a lot of air flowing through that, nor the bottom, the lumbar portion. So the range, even though when I wear it, it feels like it's pretty cool. I think it's definitely second fiddle to the Airflex. Of course, everything might be. We'll see. All right, this is the 661 Evo. This is the chest pad. So you can see through it. There is like the shoulder area above the shoulder. Shoulder pad has holes in it as well. That's kind of like the side and the lower abdomen area. This is the back. I see some shimmering dots of light in there. Not a lot. Lower portion of the back looks fine. The upper portion of the back looks fine. The shoulder pads, though, have a lot of holes in them, and so do the elbow pads. So that is an unexpected win for the Evo that I didn't think about. So at least through the pads, come on, focus. At least through the pads, there is some breathability. And this one has an elbow pad that I really like. It actually comes down to your wrist. And just to be thorough, even though the IXS isn't really part of my list. Oops, sorry about that short list. This is the chest pads, the rib pads, the torso area. Looks pretty breathable. This is the rear of the shoulder and the sides. And the back. Nothing. Not bad though. None of this is helping me make decisions. Actually, I lie. I am kind of leaning towards 3 of them still.
What I'm doing here is just putting them all on without a shirt to feel if anything grates on my skin, and I'm also checking the range of motion, but I'm mostly seeing if the pads feel like they'll stay in place in a crash. If I'm going to spend this much coin on protection, I want that protection to stay in place when I need it.
I think I'm having a hard time because when I put this TLD garment back on, it's just as comfortable, maybe more comfortable than all of the other ones. The elbow pads are just gargantuan. I started doing like taking my elbow and hitting against the corner of a door frame, and with the other pads just to see how it felt. You know, basically starting up here closer to the wrist and then back toward the elbow and then hitting the back of my elbow. All of the other ones, it was like, oh, I can feel that, you know. And then the back part of the elbow, there's not a whole lot of coverage there. I hit the door frame with this, and I think I cracked the door frame. I'm not helping myself here. So, chest pad, elbow, shoulder pads, back pads, I think I'm going to call equal. Concealability, probably equal, with an edge to the Leatt. Comfort, they're equal. Breathability, I don't know, maybe this is better, slightly. I'm not 100%. There's basically no perfect garment out there. So I think what it's boiling down to is that you're going to have to decide for yourself what you want out of your garment. If you want total 100% protection, maybe the TLD is for you. If you want something that's light, breathable, and concealable, the Stealth Leatt might be for you, or maybe the 661 Evo. Both of those, with the right jersey, would be totally concealable, and they offer about the same amount of protection. The Leatt might have a little bit more with the chest protection. Man, I'm going to turn the camera off again and have a think, and I'm getting hungry and I got to get out of the office soon, so I am going to make a decision tonight before I leave, and I'm going to tell you what it's going to be. All right, it's done. I've made a decision. I'm moving on with my life. I'm not going to let which protective body armor upper torso garment is going to ruin my life. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to take control, and I'm going to send this one back. Yeah, it's not this one. I like this one a lot. If the elbow pads and the shoulder pads were a little more robust, I think I would firmly say that I would be into this one here. But the shoulder pads are not very robust at all. I mean, these elbow pads are not either. You know, they're really thin. My forearm test against the door frame, this one definitely I could feel it the most. And I've been having a hard time making a decision. So what I did is what do I crash on the most? And that is my elbows and forearms and shoulders. So this one basically has the weakest pads in that department, unfortunately. So what am I keeping? The 661 Evo compression jacket long sleeve. I'm pretty sure that's what it is verbatim. Let me zoom this out a little bit. I'm gonna zoom it out, Sean. I'll help you out. So this is the back of it. The reason I got this one is because of the shoulders and the elbow pads. They're more substantial than the Leatts are, a little bit longer in here, and they're just more protective. So in the event that I crash, I'm almost certainly going to land on my elbow and shoulder at some point. Almost certainly. So playing the odds, I got to go with the one that has the better elbow and shoulder protection. That's it. That's the end of the video. Right there. The 661 Evo compression long sleeve jacket. That's what I'm going with. I'm sending everything else back. I do like the Recon. The Recon elbow pads are really good. They're a little short. The back pad I'm not really fond of. It really sticks out kind of a lot. This is very stealthy. And if I'm going to wear something that's not very stealthy, then I'll wear the TLD and look like the Michelin Man. If I want to wear something that's more stealthy, I'm going to wear this. And I think I'm going to be happy about it. So thanks for watching. I'm glad you're here. I hope this helps you out in some way, shape, or form. It was aggravating mentally to go through all of this and try to weigh everything out, piece for piece, and try to make sense of it. Maybe in 2 years, we'll try this again with version 3.0. Maybe they'll come out with some new stuff and we'll try it again. Or maybe they'll come out with some new shorts and then we can look at some shorts. Yeah. Either way, I'm out. See you on the trail. Take care of yourself. Thanks for watching.